Hello everyone, how's it going? Billy Ballgame here, back with another video. I've got a few hours before the Mizzou Florida game kicks off, so I figured I would get another video out today. I hope everybody's having a good one. Today I'm going to talk about the 1984 Fleer set. So as I stated in my previous video, this is the first non-Topps packs that I remember opening up as a kid. I think I opened up one or two packs. I don't think I was a big fan of it because I remember not having very many of them when I was younger. But a few things I find pretty funny or interesting about this set is there are some really, really bad pictures in here. Like, somehow they have managed to make a whole lot of these professional Major League Baseball players look like church league softball players. So this set was I enjoyed going through it. I had a good time. So we know what's in this set. The main reasons why you buy this set is the Mattingly rookie and the Strawberry rookie. But aside from that, there are several other rookies of, some pretty decent Major League players that stuck around for a while. Several Hall of Famer cards. And of course, as always, the ones I love so much are the Superstar special cards. But yeah, there's some really fun pictures in here. A couple of other cards that are just nobodies that are pretty interesting cards that I thought I would pull out. And there are also a lot of alcoholic beverage advertisements and tobacco product advertisements in these cards, which would of course become a big deal as we got later on into the hobby or into the 80s. They would start correcting some of those cards, and some of them would end up becoming pretty big error cards. The one I can think of off the top of my head is the Randy Johnson 89 Fleer card with the Marlboro ad in the background. So some pretty interesting cards. I'll quit flapping my gums and get into the cards of the 84 Fleer set. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so before I get into the cards, Chris and I have another submission out at SGC. Today's Saturday. I just mailed it off this morning. He has 10 cards. I decided to go ahead and send in the 70 Topps Yastrzemski and the 72 Topps Yastrzemski for my collection. So I think the 70 is probably going to be a 6 or 6.5. And I think the 72, I'm hoping for a 7 on that. So we'll see how those come back. But once they do come back, I'll go through them as always and show them to you guys. So back to 84 Fleer set. So this is one of the funny kind of oddity, interesting cards. Glenn Hubbard with a massive, probably a ball python at the ballpark, and then the Philly Fanatic in the background. So this is just kind of a funny card to me. I always found that card kind of interesting. And then this card has stuck with in my brain since I opened these cards. Like I said, one or two packs when I was 9 years old. I got this card out of a pack. And this has to be one of the most obnoxious cards ever made. I mean, just how goofy is that? A Budweiser hat umbrella. So I actually got this out of the pack when I opened them back when I was a kid, and just the memory of pulling this card thinking it was so strange has always stuck with me. So I remember that one like it's yesterday, pulling that out of a pack, which is just pretty funny. And then before I move on, one thing that always bothered me about Fleer cards, like if you're into baseball at all, it's a batting average, not a batting percentage. And it always kind of bugged me that Fleer put percentage on the backs of their cards instead of average. And they're the only ones I know of that ever did that, and it always used to bug me. And still to this day kind of does. It's like, dude, it's a batting average. Come on. All right, so here are some of the stars, or the stars that I pulled out. Bobby Grich, Don Baylor, Willie McGee, Steve Garvey. Yeah, and it's hard to say what you're going to find in some of these pictures. Like, I found a topless dude in the background on one of them. It's just the photography in this set. It's like, these are the best pictures you could have used to put on these cards. I just thought it was funny. So there's Kirk Gibson, Lou Whitaker. But I really like the design, just very simple. Blue is my favorite color, so just simple with the team logo. Like I said, when I was a kid, I didn't like them. But since I've gotten older, they've really grown on me. And I really like the Don Mattingly and Darryl Strawberry rookie cards, which I'll show you here in a bit. There's Keith Hernandez, Steve Garvey, one of those superstar special cards. Not as many combo cards in this set as I noticed. There's Rusty Staub, Dave Parker. And then these cards really were in pretty good condition overall. Just again, it was just a matter of whether or not they were centered from the Fleer factory cuts. Dusty Baker, Julio Franco, I talked about in my last video, taking his last at-bats in the major leagues at 48 years old. If you're not familiar with Julio Franco, do some research on him and look up his corkscrew batting stance. Like, this dude's back was basically facing the pitcher as he was getting ready for the ball to come in. There's Dwight Evans. And Pete Rose. So that's all that I pulled out for the star cards. I'm going to show you kind of some of the minor rookies. Kevin McReynolds was a pretty good player for the Mets for a while, and I just looked it up in the 93 Beckett. In the February of 93 Beckett. This had a $2 price tag on it with an arrow going down. But I'll bet you in 90 or 91, this card was probably worth around $6 or $8 because Kevin McReynolds had a couple pretty good years that would have driven his card prices up. And then here's Juan Samuel, was kind of an all-star level player. Sorry, the dogs are barking. I'm going to shut the door, and my family went out with some friends to go watch a movie, the new Trolls movie. So my wife and kids are coming back with her friend and her daughter. So the dogs will probably go nuts if they come in while I'm filming this video. And it sounds like they are. So here's Andy Van Slyke. Again, sorry about the noise. Sorry about the dogs. Jose Oquendo. Again, these are all rookie cards of guys that hung around the major leagues for a while. And then rest in peace, Tony Fernandez. This one would have had some pretty significant value in the late 80s, early 90s. Tony Perez was a pretty frequent all-star, if I remember correctly, but a really good player. So that's it for the stars. I'll get into the Hall of Famers now. So here's one of those Superstar Special combo cards to start off with. Rod Carew and Wade Boggs. So if you put it together, I just think those are cool. And here is Fergie Jenkins, Reggie Jackson, Don Sutton, Gaylord Perry. Here's part of a Superstar Special with Tim Raines, and I can't see who's on the other side of it. I'll have to put my glasses on. But yeah, here's Tim Raines. I don't know who makes up the other half of the card. Yeah, sorry about that. Here's Rollie Fingers. Again, this channel is the proud sponsor of Rollie Fingers Mustache. I'm going to say that in every video every time I come across a Rollie Fingers card. So if it gets annoying, I apologize in advance. Here's Ted Simmons. Whitey Herzog on the Cardinals checklist. Robin Yount. Wade Boggs. Dennis Eckersley. Sparky Anderson. No smile, no scowl on that one. Here's Paul Molitor. So here's a pretty cool card. Reds United. So all three of these guys were teammates on the Big Red Machine in the 70s, and then they came together on the Phillies in the 80s. So you've got Tony Perez, Pete Rose, and Joe Morgan. Here's George Brett. Gary Carter. Everybody's favorite Hall of Famer, Harold Baines. Probably 40 or 50 Hall of Famers in this set. Not too many. I didn't count it ahead of time. I apologize. There's Joe Morgan. Andre Dawson. Tim Raines. Tony La Russa. Another Superstar Special with George Brett and Gaylord Perry. The Pine Tar incident. It's pretty funny. Goose Gossage. Tommy Lasorda. Bobby Cox. Tony Gwynn. Phil Niekro. Lee Smith. Joe Torre, Braves checklist. Alan Trammell. Bruce Sutter. Gaylord Perry. Going out in style. Superstar Special. What's that? Is that his strikeouts or his wins on there? I guess all-time strikeouts, 3,549 it looked like. There's Eddie Murray. Jim Rice. Jack Morris. Steve Carlton. Bert Blyleven. And Tony Perez. So the last stack are the cards that I've got pulled out to evaluate for grading. So we'll start off with Ryne Sandberg. Good looking card there. Second year Ryne Sandberg. Johnny Bench. That's obviously off center, left to right, but otherwise a pretty clean card. Cal Ripken. And some of these are pretty hard to evaluate for top and bottom centering. Just how the borders line up with the spaces and all that stuff. It's kind of hard on some of them to tell how well centered they are. There's Ricky. Nolan Ryan. Dave Winfield. Yeah, like this one, it obviously looks like it's a little bit off center from top to bottom. Carl Yastrzemski, this one is off left to right, probably, and top to bottom. Rod Carew, and again, a guy like Rod Carew, I would probably not grade unless I got really deep into his player run. Carlton Fisk. So some of these cards I may never actually grade. Benjamin Yastrzemski, retiring superstars. That's a cool card there. Two of my favorite players on that card. Two of my favorite non-Cardinal players. There's Jim Palmer, Mike Schmidt, Steve Carlton. Almost to the end here. Here's Tom Seaver. That's a good looking card there. And then Ozzie Smith, which actually I have this one, I think, in a PSA 9 for his player run. So again, I'll sell that. I'll send this in to get graded at some point, and if it grades the same or better than the PSA 9 I have, then I'll sell the PSA 9 and keep the SGC 9. All right, so here are the big ones. This is the reason why you buy this set. So here's the Mattingly rookie. This one is off center from left to right, but and top to bottom it looks like. But this is, maybe this would grade an 8, and then in that case it would be well worth grading, probably $30 or $40 in an 8. And then maybe at some point I would upgrade it to a 9. And the Darryl Strawberry is a little better. This one's off center top to bottom. It looks to be pretty well centered left and right. And then this one in a 9 I think is less than $100. So I haven't really looked at it too good, but my initial first impression would be that it'll probably be in the ballpark of a 9, which I would be happy with that. I'd take that all day. So that's it for the cards. I'll go ahead and flip this around. All right, so that's it for the cards for the 1984 Fleer set. So next week's video, I don't think my SGC submission will be back yet, but I will at least go through the 1984 top set. And this one I'm pretty excited about too, because this is the first year that I really remember opening quite a few packs of cards. And again, I lost them in 85 or 86. So I'm happy to have all these cards back in my collection, and they're probably in much better condition than they were from the ones I had when I was a kid. So stay tuned to the channel. I'll be back with you next week for another video for the 84 top set. And until the next one, everybody have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.